Howdy folks, welcome back to Metroid Zero Mission. This is right where we left off last time, and we are headed back to Brainstar. That is where the objective little marker wants us to go. Oh, you know what? I think I can do like the super dash run thing through here. Yes, there we go. Oh, and then we drop right in the lava. Okay. Yeah. I am somewhat aware of what the next upgrade that we need is, I think. And I also know that the high jump can definitely help us to go to new areas. In fact, I think I have an idea of where I should go even before I check the map, but I will check it. Yes. Okay. I see where it wants me to go, but I also want to swing over to the right and then go like up that rightmost column, because I believe I can do that now that I have the high jump. I believe I have what is necessary. I think I couldn't go that way before because I just couldn't jump high enough. Yes, anytime there's like, I don't know, even in games that are not like strictly, well, I guess it would have to be a game kind of like a Metroid. Any kind of game that you unlock like abilities, which is probably close to a Metroid. Ooh, yes, check that out. I forgot there was something down here. How do I get that? Hold on, let me try that again. Yeah, any game where you like unlock abilities, it's always so satisfying to get like a high jump or a double jump or anything like that. To me, I don't know, because it's always like, it always definitely offers you more. How can I break that one? I can't. Okay, whatever. I'm not gonna get too stressed about every single secret, because like I said, this is not gonna be a completionist run. But yeah, anything that's like a high jump or a double jump, anytime you get those in games, it's always really satisfying to me. To me personally. I hate running through this room because you gotta jump and there's stupid purple fly things. I'm just not a fan of it. What do I need to go through here? Anything? There's no way I can just mitigate this and, okay. I also hate this room because you have to, I don't know, you gotta fight off these stupid flies and shoot their nests. It's just the whole thing. Hopefully this isn't a waste of time. I don't think it is. I think I can do something over here that I didn't do before. I don't know how worth it will be. Well, we'll see. Now that we have high jump, like the jump arcs are a little off, so I'm like having to readjust. Okay, we go up. Okay, I think we can use these guys and get up here now. We should be able to. This is the only height. Are you kidding me? Can I not do it? Honestly? Can I not do it even now? I have the high jump. What the heck? Okay. Okay, apparently there was a thing over here. I didn't realize that. Okay, sorry for the delay, guys. That was on me. That was my bad. I thought that I could go over there, but I was wrong. I was completely wrong. Okay, we're just gonna be going straight up from here. Use some health. Well, I'm doing fine. Okay. No, that's not it. Okay, that's not the way. Doesn't look like. Speaking of the way, I have almost watched the second season of Mandalorian. I really, really like it. I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna say that it's like, you know, I don't know if I can say it's like my favorite piece of Star Wars content in the world or anything, but I really do like it. I have kind of mixed feelings about some of the stuff they're doing toward the latter half of the second season, although I do think, what am I supposed to do here? I don't remember. I don't remember this. Why is my memory not better? Honestly, I feel like I could like go on like probably like an hour podcast rant. Not even a rant, just like I could talk a lot about Star Wars. I'm really nerdy about it. Not that I know everything about it, I definitely don't, but I could talk about it for a fair amount. And one of the things that I just think is a big problem with Star Wars in general is that they rely too much on nostalgia, in my opinion. They rely too much on bringing back characters that are already established, that are already iconic, rather than doing their own thing. And one of the things that I admired so much about Mandalorian is that it was doing its own thing. It, you know, it's technically set in the same, I'm just gonna go over here. It's set, you know, close to the same time period of the Star Wars movies. It still has certain aspects, even from the beginning, that are from Star Wars. You know, it's always still had the stormtroopers. You know, it's got essentially what looks like a Baby Yoda, even though he's not Yoda. And Baby Yoda is adorable, but it's kind of undercut for me by knowing that there was probably, like, I just know probably how that went down is some executive was like, you know, it'd be really cute, a Baby Yoda that would sell a lot of toys. And then that was probably how he was made. I mean, I don't know for certain, obviously, but that's just what I would bet on. Like, that's how the whole Yoda or Grogu creation went down. Could be wrong. Okay. You know what? Hold on. There's something. That's a tunnel. That's a tunnel. See? Because you can see the things crawling in there. Yes. Okay. Let me. Okay. Oh, that's not what I want to do. Oh, these things are killing me. Alright. What? But, yeah. One of the things I really admired about the first is, although there are areas where it's still kind of doing the Star Wars thing, it's still keeping some aspects of Star Wars that are, you know, notable and already a big deal. And some people might ask, you know, why is that such a big deal? I think it's just like I personally respect coming up with like original ideas better. I respect that more than just like doing what's already been done and what is already established and what is already popular, because that doesn't really require a lot of creativity, but it's a sure way to make money. And that was one of the big problems I had with the trilogy, the sequel trilogy, the Disney sequel trilogy. You know, not everything about that trilogy was bad. I don't think I can say that I entirely hate everything about. Okay, this is showing us that these little guys, they can dissolve these. What are they? They look kind of like orbs that are like suspended in tendrils or something. But yeah, these little crawly guys can break those. So that is useful to know. But yeah, that was one of the things. Like especially. Oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. I didn't want to fall through there. Especially episode 9, which I only saw for the first time somewhat recently. I didn't see it for a while because I didn't have Disney Plus for a while. That's actually why I'm watching Mandalorian a little bit after, you know, after the second season has already come out, because I didn't have Disney Plus. But I don't know. That's one of the things that I didn't love about, especially like episode 9, is it's just so much like, oh, we're just gonna bring back a bunch of characters that are already iconic because we don't want to do our own thing. Like we have Kylo Ren as the antagonist, but we don't want to make like another iconic secondary antagonist, so we're just gonna bring Palpatine back for no reason. Okay, we get the various suits. Very helpful. Very cool. Also, it changes the way we look subtly, which is fun. Okay, so it decreases damage. prevents damage from acid and heat. So now we can chill out in the acid, and it makes us like orange. I don't know, I like suit changes. I also like that, like in RPGs or whenever a thing that you equip changes, like the character sprite or the character model. I always think that's satisfying. Like I think that happens in like Symphony of the Night too, maybe a little bit. But yeah, basically that's the thing. I mean, look, Star Wars is super iconic, and I mean they already have, you know, they can make a lot of money just kind of banking on stuff that George Lucas and other people have already made iconic. You know, they have a steady source of income if they just want to keep bringing back characters. And I feel like that's what a lot of the sequel trilogy was doing. I mean, man, a lot of the first episode 7 was just like, I mean, people kind of complained because I want to know how to get down here. I want that energy tank. I want it. It's mocking me. You know, some people even kind of complained because that even had like aspects of the plot that was very similar to A New Hope. And then, of course, it was like, hey, we're just going to bring back all these iconic characters. We're going to have Han Solo and Chewbacca and Luke and Leia and all these people. And it was just like, yeah, I mean, that's going to get fans in the theaters. That's going to stimulate your nostalgia. But I don't know. I can't respect it as much. It doesn't seem as artistically creative to me. If you're just... And it did do some of its own things. I'm not saying those ones never had any of their own ideas, but I don't know. I think it could have done more of it. I want that energy tank, and it's going to bother me if I just leave it. I don't know how to get to it, though. Energy tanks... Okay, hold on a second. Okay, I might have gotten it. Energy tanks are like one of the most useful upgrades in the game, in my opinion. But yeah, one of the things I admired so much about the first season of Mandalorian is it was doing its own thing, even though it did keep some aspects kind of left over from Star Wars, like Baby Yoda, the Stormtroopers, and the Empire. It's still set in the same time period, but it was like, okay, we're not gonna do like Jedis now, which is one of the main draws. We're gonna try to make like a really entertaining character who doesn't even use lightsabers or the Force. We're just gonna have him, you know, be like this bounty hunter, mercenary thing, you know, a Mandalorian, which, you know, it was kind of going off again an already pre-existing, what would you call them? Not maybe quite a race, but like a clan in Star Wars, you know, and they always made him similar looking to Boba Fett, which I guess would argue that bringing Boba Fett in was a natural step, but that's the thing. Well, anyway, I'll get to that in a second. But I liked that they had some things that they were doing original. They're like, we're not going to do Jedi. That's already been done, you know, a lot. We're not even going to have us see the main character. We're going to write a character that's compelling and interesting to watch, and we're not even going to show his face, which I think is kind of impressive. I think that takes some talent to write a good character and, you know, have him like really have a personality and have the audience root for him and everything, and they don't even show his face. I don't know, I think that's kind of cool. I need like the little insect guys to like swarm on me. I remember this puzzle, I just don't remember where they are. But I liked that it was doing its own thing. I really liked that. And then Season 2, it's still kind of doing its own thing, but it started doing the thing that the sequels did, where it's just bringing in stuff that's already been a part of Star Wars. Like, you know, they brought back Ahsoka, who I don't actually have a ton of nostalgia for because I have not, as of yet, watched... Okay, here we go. This is where we need to go. I have not, as of yet, watched the Clone Wars, which I am going to rectify that situation at some point. I'm going to watch them, especially since I have Disney Plus now. But yeah, they brought her back. They brought back Boba Fett, who... Look, I'm not going to say Boba Fett is not cool. He is cool, and it was cool to see the same actor that was in the prequels that played Jango. That was really cool. I actually just watched that episode last night. I haven't finished it, although some things I already know is gonna... Okay, this is how we got back around. Okay. That was bothering... I don't know. Twice I tried to go up the other side, because that's what I thought I was supposed to do. I haven't seen every single part of The Mandalorian, but it's kind of impossible to not have certain parts of it spoiled. So I do know some things that are like, I know that in the end, spoilers for anybody else, I do know that Luke is going to make an appearance. And yeah, so it's like, we got Ahsoka, we got Boba Fett, we got Luke, of all people, which is like one of the biggest cameos you can make. And it's just like, did we need all these cameos? Or were they just going to like help sell the second season, which already was doing pretty well and already had a lot of excitement behind it? I don't know, I'm just like, was that necessary? I think occasionally it's cool to have a cameo. I'm not saying you can never have a cameo. I just think when you get the feeling that they're just cashing in on doing a bunch of cameos, it just kind of starts making me wonder, at least, like, why did we need to do this? Are you just doing it because it's definitely going to make money? Because you know it's going to make money. And you know it's going to make the fans excited without really having to put in a lot of effort to write something new. You could just kind of slap Luke Skywalker in there, and of course fans are going to eat that up. You know, it's Luke Skywalker. But, like, I don't know. I can't respect it as much. Just artistically. And I know that makes me sound really pretentious. Like I could do a better job. I'm not saying I could. I'm just, I don't know. I kind of wish that they hadn't started going down the route where they just start bringing back stuff. But, I guess it's inevitable because all the Star Wars, well, most of the Star Wars stories, overlap and stuff. And, I can't say like the sequels are the only movies that are somewhat guilty of kind of going off of nostalgia or bringing back established characters. The prequels did that too, although it almost made more sense because they were prequels. The whole point was kind of to show how certain characters came to be. But, a lot of that stuff probably was also sort of fan service, like let's have Yoda get in some crazy CGI lightsaber battles. Like, that was fan service. That was just because people wanted to see Yoda do lightsaber fights. And there was a lot of kind of cheeky callbacks, like Obi-Wan being like, oh, you're going to be the death of me. Just kind of like eye-rolling foreshadowing like that. So, I feel like most, except the original trilogy, and again, even the original trilogy is not perfect, but I just think it's very impressive how so much came out of the original trilogy that is like really iconic to pop culture now. Like almost everything, even characters like Boba Fett, who honestly I don't even know how many lines he had in the original show. Like or the original trilogy, he didn't have any lines. He was a very minor character. People basically liked him because his armor was cool and he had a jetpack. But somehow Lucas and everybody who was working on those was able to make a ton. Pretty much everything from the original trilogy is iconic, even though the grunts, the stormtroopers, all of that has, at this point in time, become super iconic and memorable in pop culture to the point where, whole shows are just kind of calling back to these things. And, like I said, the original trilogy is not perfect, but that makes me respect it more because it made all that stuff up. It started, and I'm sure you could make an argument like, oh, Star Wars is just an iteration of the hero's journey, etc. Star Wars is ripping stuff off of Dune, whatever. I'm sure it wasn't completely original. But it did have original stuff, especially compared to later Star Wars, that a lot of times just seems like it's riding off stuff that's already happened. So, I don't know. I think it'd be very easy to be like, oh, Star Wars fans are impossible to please. You give them what they think they want, and then they don't, and then they still complain about that. I realize that I'm probably complaining too much about stuff that, let's be honest, doesn't really matter anyways. However, I do think that it can be done having a story set in Star Wars that doesn't rely heavily on nostalgia, but still uses like the same setting and the same, some of the same elements. And I think a good example of that is Knights of the Old Republic, which is probably one of my favorite RPGs, and this is coming from someone who doesn't typically enjoy RPGs very much. I'm not a big RPG fan, but I really love that game. I have yet to play Knights of the Old Republic 2, which is, I'm anticipating, going to be somewhat different because it's an Obsidian game. But yeah, I haven't played that one yet. But I love Knights of the Old Republic, and that game did a pretty compelling story without tying into any nostalgia relating to like the original trilogy characters. Yes, it still had Jedi and Sith, it still had lightsabers, all that stuff. It still had some of the same species too, like the Wookiees and stuff. But it didn't, you know, just reuse the same characters that we already know. It did its own thing for the most part. It had its own characters. And it was a compelling plot. It had its own kind of, what do I want to say? Like, sort of plot type thing. It was less, you know, like a hero's journey, and it was more like, I mean, I don't know if I really want to spoil that game. Spoilers, kind of, but it was more of an idea of like, can people, you know, can people change? Can people be made to change? And I don't know. I don't want to get in too much to like what the main. There's like a very iconic twist from that game, and I don't really want to say what it is if I don't need to. But basically, like, you know, what makes someone good or evil, and what, you know, can that change? That kind of a thing. And it felt like it was doing something different than what the original Star Wars was doing. Well, I don't know. I guess the original Star Wars kind of did that with Anakin, because Anakin changed. A couple times, actually. I mean, he changed to a bad guy and then he changed to a good guy, but... So, I don't know. Maybe Knights of the Old Republic is not entirely original, but I at least, you know, if nothing else, I admire that it's doing its own thing with its characters and stuff. It's still set in the Star Wars universe, but it's like, no, we're gonna have it, you know, 1,000 or whatever, thousands of years before any of that stuff took place. We're not gonna have a tie-in to any of these characters. We're not gonna be like, oh, so-and-so is the ancestor of, you know, Han Solo or whatever. Like, we're not going to do that. We're just going to be like, maybe we're going to keep some of the same races. And a lot of that was probably working off stuff from, like, the expanded universe and all that. But, yeah, I just admire that it, I don't know, even just that it had its own characters and stuff. I know that probably seems really simple, but I don't know, a little can go a long ways. So I ended up just talking about Star Wars a lot. So hopefully, if you don't like Star Wars, I'm sorry. Just hear me rambling about it. What am I... See, I'm so stupid. I keep pressing the wrong button. I keep thinking that the bottom button is the jump button. It's not. Okay. Okay, so we're just making our way now through Norfair here. We still cannot, we cannot thrive in lava, but we can exist in rooms that are supposed to be hot. I'm just gonna spam that guy with missiles. Okay, save room. I've not really saved much. Might as well. I guess that could be a question. Well, I try to do somewhat more like specific questions, not make them too vague. I don't know. What are your feelings on the Star Wars franchise is probably too vague of a question. But it's the best I got right now. What are your thoughts on the Star Wars series? Hold on. I don't know if I can keep a sprint going through these rooms. I think I can. Oh, but I can't from here. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can just... no, I can't. I wanted to try to get it to keep a sprint going because there's a block here that I can do with that, but I couldn't do it. Oh, okay. Hold on, did I find everything up there? I don't think I did. I want to see what's up there. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe a more specific question would be like, what are your thoughts on The Mandalorian, or what are your thoughts on the sequel trilogy? What are your thoughts on what Disney has been doing with the Star Wars series? I still haven't even watched everything that Disney has done. Like, I haven't watched some of the... I haven't watched either of, like, the little spin-off, like, placeholder Star Wars movies that came between the sequels, like Rogue One and Solo. I haven't watched those yet. Those are also on my watch list. Someday I will watch them. But there's just so much to watch in this day and age. And I'm not good at binging shows. I like never binge shows. I don't know, I just can't do it with my attention span. I have a really hard time binging shows or movies or whatever. Ooh, okay, this is another, I kind of found that out by accident, but that's another fake lava pit. So that's good to know. Okay, map room, that's going to come in handy. Yeah, what do you think about how Disney has been handling Star Wars? I guess that's only a relevant question if you're a Star Wars fan. But, yes, I like it. I also think, I don't know, I think it's really amusing how... I just think it's very interesting, and this is not by any means the only area that this kind of thing happens, but it's definitely a thing that happens in society where when stuff ages and goes through changes, it's usually always the people who are around for the first thing don't like how it ages, and then people who are people like things more. People usually like whatever they kind of grew up with, I guess is what I'm trying to say, or they like whatever they knew. So like the example there being people kind of hated the prequels, and I remember people hating the prequels. I was into Star Wars kind of at an age where the prequels were sort of looked down on, although I wasn't like super into it, like super young, but you know, pretty much anything before Disney really took over, I feel like right around maybe when Disney took over is when things started to change. But before then, yeah, the prequels got dumped on all the time, and it was totally fine. It was acceptable. People kind of, it was like a thing amongst the Star Wars fandom that maybe the prequels did some things okay, but they were just overall kind of cringy, and there's just a lot of cringy, you know, I mean, Jar Jar, obviously, there still are cringy parts, but then right around, it feels to me, right around when Disney kind of took control of things, the next generation of Star Wars fans, which was kids that grew up, which would honestly be kids like me. The first Phantom Menace came out the year I was born. So yeah, you know, kids that are my age or even a little bit older, you know, came of age and started talking about Star Wars, and they actually really loved the prequels, and now the prequels are almost admired even more than the original trilogy in some circles. I know, like, I know people at my college, or at least one guy at my college who's really really into the prequels because that's, you know, what he grew up with. And I didn't grow up with one or the other particularly, but I'm gonna wreck myself. I might die here. I'm gonna die here. Come on, please. Okay. Oh goodness, that really made me nervous. I might still die. I really don't want to die here. There's no place to die. Okay. No. Gosh darn it. I'm done. I am so done. Okay. That's fair. I might just end the video here. But what was I saying? I was saying that, yeah, I just think it's really amusing how the sequel, or the prequels get a lot of love now because, well, now there's something else to make fun of. Now the people that are around my age can say the prequels are great and they can make fun of the original, or the sequel trilogy. You know, there's a new thing that's kind of like the scapegoat for, that's kind of a target to say, oh, this sucks, because it's new and we like this thing that we grew up with. And I just think it's interesting to watch that shift, even within Star Wars. But yeah, sorry I ended up rambling about Star Wars pretty much the whole episode. I'm going to cut it off here, and I'm going to try to get back to where I just died before I start the next episode. So, yes. Have a good one, guys.